Good morning and thank you very much for joining us. I am Yori Folani. Let's stay on Taraba. We touched on it briefly yesterday. So let's stay on it. And by that I mean, well, the deputy governor has been about 8 months out of his office due to health concerns. We have a constitutional lawyer, and our aim is to find out what are the implications of Deputy Governor Aminu Alkali, his 8 months of absence from office. And in that connection, I introduce our guest, Kabir Akingbolu. Mr. Akingbolu is a constitutional lawyer. Thank you very much for coming.
For having me on the program. Good morning, Nigeria.
Indeed. So you know the situation well. In fact, unfortunately, this is not the first time that that kind of a crisis has met. You remember, if you go back to the unfortunate air crash of a self-piloted plane. But here we are now, and I wonder, well, that's really it. We want to find out what are the implications. We heard yesterday, although not from a lawyer, but from a knowledgeable person, that 3 months is, if you're away for 3 months, everything could still be in order. But beyond 3 months to 6 months and now to 8 months, could you please clear the air for us?
Yeah, Nigeria is not in short of law. In fact, when I say it's not in short of laws, I mean we have good laws. Good laws that are functional, that takes care of so many situations. And again, history has taught us that, experience has taught us that we are good students of history.
Okay.
When something happens, quickly we amend our law to come in place with it, because like during the Yaradua time, look at what happened, the dramas and all that. He did not remit power, he did not transmit power as dictated by the constitution when he was leaving Nigeria, and that one caused a lot of issues. It took the National Assembly, an extra wisdom to go out of the box to find a solution under the doctrine of necessity, which is actually not in our constitution anyway.
It isn't.
But they were able to, at least, we were able to surmount the problem and the imbroglio there. Now, coming to this one.
Yes.
There were, under the constitution for governorship, under section 189, precisely, inability of the governor or deputy governor to perform the function of his office.
That's right.
That is the heading, that when the governor was not able to discharge the function of his office or incapacity, due to incapacity. Now, section 189 said that when it appears to the Speaker of the House of Assembly or the House of Assembly that a governor or deputy governor is not able to discharge the function of his office due to disease of the mind or illness or any ailment at all, that there shall be there will be an address, a resolution passed by no less than 2/3 majority of the House.
That's right.
To say, oh, we have discovered that he is not able to discharge the function of his office. And what would they do? The Constitution say, go further, to say they will now set up a medical panel comprising of no less than 5 medical personnel of high integrity, who have reached a high degree of eminence in the field of medicine, related to the kind of examination they want to conduct on the person you are suspecting not to be able to perform his duty.
Okay.
Now, which is the deputy governor here. Now, you set up the panel, but those 5 medical practitioners shall include the personal physician or doctor of the deputy governor or governor, as the case may be. You understand? Now, they will now look at it. If they now come up with the opinion that, well, he has an infirmity that will make him not to be able to discharge the function of the office, they will communicate it to the House of Assembly, and once they pass the resolution, it's easy to be a governor or deputy governor. So, why we have not been able to do that now is what I don't know.
Well, I think the reason why we have not been able to do that, it comes out of Taraba itself. Just a couple of days ago, I think, the governor himself spoke, and he said, I am reaching you to speak to you directly because I know things have been going on and I feel a need. Now, everything that you just said, the governor seemed to just cut through all of that and say that, look, there's a matter of compassion, there's a matter of our humanness, our humanity, And so I really don't want us to go and be talking about any of those things. And so I said, I thought...
let me tell you, sir. The only thing is this, we play to the gallery a lot. Law is on its own. Politics is on its own. Democracy is a whole concept. Morality is another thing. Morality has nothing to do with law. Morality has nothing to do with, governance. Now, if on moral ground the governor is not able to discharge his duty as well, just like the deputy governor, are we going to fold our arms and say the state to be on autopilot? It's not permissible. Yes, nobody wants to be sick. Nobody plans for sickness or illness or any kind of ailment or infirmity. However, if it has happened, like one of my boss in those days would say, accident does not ring bell. Yeah. If you are going to have an accident, it will not give you an advance notice. Do you understand? So sickness also is like that. Now, if it has happened, are we going to say because of the ill luck or illness that has befallen somebody, the state should be on hold or should be on autopilot? It's not the way of the law. It's not the way of the Constitution. Like in those days, my boss, when you come to office late, he will tell you that, oh, you say there was hold up. You say, oh, are we going to tell the client that the lawyer we assigned to your case had hold up and they struck out your case? Or a newspaper vendor. Yeah. You see a journalist did not write anything because his wife was delivering. Is that what the public are going to read? No, it's not going to read. It's not going to be so. There is a problem on ground. Let us not play to the gallery. Let the governor address the people. He is the deputy governor still qualified to discharge the duty of the office or not? If he is not able, the Constitution is also to the rescue, that he shall nominate another person now to act as a deputy.
That is what the governor is avoiding.
Avoiding.
He's avoiding it.
He has to he will nominate, the House will pass and say, oh, he's qualified or he's not qualified. And
even the House itself, if you've been following the story, nobody seems to be in an unseemly haste to start the process because there's this human feeling in this whole matter. In fact, the governor actually called it that look, one, he's back in the country now. Two, his recuperation is proceeding satisfactorily, and in no distant time, the governor feels that he's going to be, at his desk. But it was the Commissioner for Health that, went to where he was first of all taken, one of the hospitals abroad where he was taken. And that's, according to newspaper reports, brought back the news that he actually suffered a stroke. And, well, the thing with strokes is that you could be out of it in 3 months. It might take more than that.
Time, it may not also get out of it also.
You might not come out of it.
The problem is this now. We have said it earlier, mixing politics with reality. Do you understand? The reality on ground is that he's not able to. And again, one of the two things, there are two things here now. One, you see a House of Assembly. It's almost in all the houses of assembly of the states in Nigeria. They do things as in they don't. It's more or less like an appendage to the governor's office. That is the truth. I'm sorry to say that, because even the National Assembly, you see that they try to kowtow to the wishes or the whims and caprices of the governor or of the president, as the case may be. Oh, it's our party. If we say no now, it will be a blot on the execution of our party and all that and all that. But that is not what matters. The interest of the public, of the republic, is more important than the interest of individual or the interest of your political party or your friend. No, we have to be humane, fine.
Yes.
And again, another problem is, you see a dereliction of duty on the part of the House of Assembly, failure to perform their statutory duty or function. Secondly, this idea of die in office posture by Africans, not only in Nigeria. I have not seen any governor that resigned in Nigeria, except one governor in Jigawa State who said, I cannot work with, I think, was it Lamido, with the governor. The governor will travel. In a year, the governor was traveling like more than half of the days in a year. And he even granted an interview where I ruled Jigawa State from overseas. The deputy governor said, I can't work with this kind of man, you resign. That is the only person in Nigeria that you have seen that say, I am not interested. Nigerians don't resign. For instance, somebody who suffered that kind of ailment, a stroke, we know what a stroke is. All you need to do, accept the will of God and say, well, it's in history that you are a deputy governor. I am resigning. You will die a hero. People will celebrate you. People will honor you. People will respect you and your family forever. But because, again, even when he gets well, stroke does not like stress. And if he gets well and start the work again, it may relapse. So it's for somebody, you have to love yourself first. More than any other thing, leave politics. Be concerned with your health first and face it, and it will be fine.
You know, when Governor, the Taraba State Governor, Agbo Kefas, when he spoke to his people, you know, on Monday, I believe it is, he said, and I'm quoting directly, this is not a political matter. It's a human one. He said in the statewide broadcast, you know, we must lift him in our prayers. Yes. So that's the attitude, a very humane, humanitarian attitude that the governor, and he said that one of the reasons that he came out to address the whole, you know, state was that he has been hearing things that are not satisfactory to him, and that he wants to sort of correct the flow, the direction of conversation, say, it won't be towards replacing the governor or declaring him unfit for office for the reasons that I stated earlier, which is that he's making satisfactory progress. But, I mean, it would take a medical doctor, a medical expert to really say that. Yeah. But
the Constitution even talks about a medical panel.
And the governor quoted from both the Bible and the Quran. So it shows that this is a very strong point with the governor. Say, everybody trying to get my deputy out of the way, no. We are not going to be together on that at all. So what's the implication of this now?
The implication of this is that first, it's setting a dangerous precedent. Secondly, it's showing us that we are not running a democracy. Because if we are running a democracy, we should, you know, adhere strictly to the wordings of the Constitution in all its contextual, you know, meanings. Because as a governor too, you are sworn to defend the provisions of the Constitution when you took the oath of office. Now, by saying, and the law does not permit a governor to run the office alone without a deputy.
Well,
you understand?
They have a number of devices they have erected, including his deputy chief of staff.
Yes,
transferred to the governor, to the deputy governor's office.
Yeah, you see, what I am saying is this. He cannot do that. That is an aberration. And again, you know, the Constitution does not know anything known as chief of staff. It's just an American creation that we adopted here. You understand? It's America, they have chief of staff. That's why up to the local government chairman now, they have chief of staff. Do you understand? Even the chairman of road transport worker and the rest of them are other organizations. No, serious other organizations. They
have
chief of staff.
They have the chief of staff now.
When you have a secretary for the nation, SGF, when you have a SSG for the state, you don't need a chief of staff. Because it's duplication of duty, which amounts to wasting of natural resources, of our, you know, resources as a nation. So you cannot allow a chief of staff to move into the office of a governor. In fact, it's an impeachable offense, but who will bear the card? The House of Assembly are just watching like a bat.
They are. They are not going to.
They are not doing anything.
They don't want to get ahead of the governor.
Do you understand?
Who has explained the lie of the ground to them.
The issue of religion does not come in.
No.
Whether biblically or Quranically. Yeah, the Quran and Bible says we should empathize with somebody who is weak and down. It does not say they should not perform their duty. Even the Bible also says a leader must stand up. The Quran also says you must perform your function as a leader. And again, what happens? You'll be collecting his salaries without working. Who does that? 8 months is a lot. If you will agree with me, 8 months is a lot. Well, so even a Yaradua that we talk about left Nigeria, I think November 5, he died May 10 or thereabouts. You understand? So it's just about 6 months. This one, 8 months, 8 long months. And before that death of Yaradua, they have appointed an acting president. So, I think there should be an acting governor now, possibly.
Acting deputy.
Acting deputy governor, maybe that will suffice. You understand? Because although the constitution has not actually provided for that, but instead of using a chief of staff to do that, you cannot do that.
But Governor Kefas, as you know, is a retired military man, and he's still looking for alternative solutions, among which is he's likening the situation that we have in Taraba now, that esprit de corps. Esprit de corps.
Exactly the point.
Yes, esprit de corps has an application here.
Yes, that's exactly what he's doing. One, he's playing the religious card, and that esprit de corps thing. That is the major thing. And the issue of being, let us be moral, let us be humane.
Yeah.
You know, everybody will sympathize with the deputy governor. But we are talking, what does the law say? Are our actions in being sympathetic and empathetic, is it in sync? Or synchronized? Is it synchronized with the law? Is it speaking the same language as the Constitution has directed? No. The answer is no. Perhaps. The House of Assembly, are they performing their duties under the law? Because under the law, the Constitution leaves the duty to the House of Assembly to take a decision. So this is where we are. So I think the House of Assembly should wake up to their responsibility, and the governor should also act like a good sportsman to know that you cannot change what is bound to happen. Once something is inevitable, there is nothing you can do. They should allow things to take its normal course. Nobody will say, oh, the governor doesn't like his deputy. It's a natural occurrence. One that was not planned for. And the House of Assembly should also perform their duty by saying, oh, this is what the Constitution says. We sympathize with this man. We didn't know it will come to this. But then there must be a governor and a deputy governor at every particular point in time.
Well, the governor is really working the humanitarian angle. He's really working that. And he said that he's also being careful. He has said, and I'm being careful here, he said he acknowledges the constitutional provisions for replacing incapacitated people like the deputy. But the governor said he would take that step only when we get to that stage. I don't quite understand what that means.
Yeah, from the look of things, from that contextual meaning, what he's saying is that, God forbid, that the worst happen.
Yes.
But we are not going to take any step until that worst happen. That is just it. If the worst is going to happen until it happens,
exactly.
I am not ready to do anything. Because, one, if we are talking about degree, the degree of or the severity of the illness or ailment or incapacity has reached a high degree, or the highest of the degrees, if it's for 8 months. However, since they have not taken any step, means they won't take any step, except the untoward, the unexpected happens, which we pray it won't happen. However, to help this man regain his health, sir, to help this man live a normal, healthy life, it is better he even relinquish the power and go and stay a free man. He will still be fine. That, to remove himself from the hurdles of governance, from the stress of constituents and all that, the demand of the public, and so on and so forth. Well, that will make his longevity.
The government is being very loyal to his deputy. He appointed him.
But then, in disloyalty to the Constitution, which is the instrument that brought them to power, and in disloyalty to the people that voted them into power. Because even the ticket the governor and the deputy governor hold or held is a joint ticket. It's severable. It's a kind of, it's not severable, it's a kind of Siamese twins. So if one is not, remember what happened in Bayelsa. A governor was not sworn in because his deputy was not qualified. So apply it here now. A deputy governor is incapacitated and the governor is acting. His being in office is incomplete. It's becoming questionable because you cannot carry on that load. It's just like a pilot. Yes. When you are piloting an aircraft and something happened to the somebody who is supposed to be the co-pilot. You cannot fly until they replace the co-pilot, because there must be 2 pilots at the same time.
Okay.
Now, even in the modern standard practice now, there are 3 pilots. They don't allow 2 again. The best, in the international standard practice now, there are 3 pilots.
So just to ensure, underline the importance of these extra officials that could also perform the job of the principal.
Because in case of anything, if anything happens to one, it will happen to 2, because they discovered that sometimes there was a particular occasion where the 2 pilots were drunk. So they believe, you understand? Yeah. So they believe the 3rd one, it will be difficult for the 3 to be drunk at the same time, or to have issues at the same time. So in a situation, in governance, you have a governor, you have a president, a deputy, a vice president. You have a governor, you have a deputy governor, chairman, a vice chairman. In case of anything, so that there won't be vacuum in governance, they said government is continual.
So now that we have seen, especially with the governor's statewide broadcast on Monday, that the governor is going to stick with his deputy.
Yes.
He's going to be loyal to him. For want of a better expression, that's the way the governor sees it. So what are the options for the citizenry now?
The option is by way of impeachment. The House of but the truth is this: the House of Assembly must still act. So in the first scenario, the House of Assembly has a duty to perform. The second scenario, they have a duty to perform.
The House of Assembly is busy informing that we have no intention to declare a vacancy
on the seat of the deputy governor. That's why I say there is dereliction of duty on the part of the House of Assembly members, because the constitution is very clear. Once you have reasonable ground to believe that the deputy governor or the governor is not able to perform the function of his office due to infirmity or illness, then you set up a panel, comprising of this and that, of medical personnel not less than 5. To carry out the list. So if you cannot do that, and the governor is saying, no, I cannot do that, then the next thing for you is to, one, you can also, you may also impeach. Apart from the issue of infirmity, the House of Assembly can come up and say, we want to impeach the governor, for the deputy governor for running away, what they call it, away in
absent
without leave. Yeah. There is no letter saying, oh, I'm going on leave. There is nothing for being unable to come to work for 8 months. It's an impeachable offense.
Advancing these positions in Taraba would be seen as, if not exactly an enemy action, an unfriendly action. And everybody in Taraba, to the best of my knowledge, where I'm sitting at here, everybody seems to want to distance themselves from that. It's like nobody wants to bail the cat.
Yes.
Nobody wants to bail
exactly. Because, and the governor has come out to, the speech of the governor is very deep. Don't disturb yourself. I am not going to declare his seat vacant.
That's right.
Don't disturb yourself and don't be in a hurry. I am not going to change him or I'm not going to replace him. So let us leave it as it is and leave everything for God. He has come with the Bible, has come with the Quran. You understand? If you are not a Muslim,
I even come with esprit de corps,
professionally. So it's God that gives life, it's God that takes. So if I declare his seat vacant now, bring somebody here, what if he gets well tomorrow? After all, it's God that owns life. That's what he's telling them.
That's what he's saying.
Be you know now. You take note, I will not replace him. That is just, and that may not change, except another thing changes.
There must be a time, yes, the governor is responsible for his state and especially for his colleague.
Yeah.
But is there not a limit? For instance, it's a totally different thing, but look, if you send legislation to the president and he refuses it, you send it the second time, he refuses it. I understand that it gets to a stage where...
They can veto.
He can veto.
Two-third majority. Do you understand? That is where we're saying everything starts now and ends with the House of Assembly. They are the ones to set up a medical panel to see whether he is fit to discharge the office. They are not doing that. They are the ones to look at the office and say, oh, this is an impeachable offense. We want to impeach you for not coming to office. They are not ready to do that. They are the ones to still say, okay, this is another thing. We are looking for at least from this angle. Let us impeach the governor also for ruling without having a deputy. They are not ready to do that. So everything starts, oh, we want to write to the president to do this. They are not ready. The federal government will not be able to interfere here because there is no issue of a threat to public security or safety. So the president will not be able to interfere in the internal affairs of the state. However, what we want to do, what the Tarabans will want, is for the House of Assembly, whom they have voted for, to act and play their card well. Yes. But they are not ready to do that. No. That is just the truth of the matter. And come flog the matter from now to tomorrow with the, you know, in Second Republic, we see a similitude of democracy or democratic norms. But from the coming of this new regime, we have not seen any of those factors there. Because you see that the House of Assembly will either rise or sink with the government in most cases. Especially, except, and of course, where there is external influence. Yes. Like we see under one administration like that the president will interfere and say, boot out this government. It has happened in Nigeria severally in about 4 states. Now, so apart from that, they are not ready to do anything. So where are we going? So are we now still practicing democracy? That is the question we must be asking ourselves, because our democracy now is about 26 years old. We should be advancing democratically, not retrogressing, because the ideas of democracy is completely absent.
I was just reading the Punch account of it, and Punch reports that a Jalingo-based lawyer, Aminu Alkali, has argued that sympathy should not delay lawful action. Quote, this is not about removing the deputy governor out of malice. It is about ensuring governance continues within the law.
Exactly what we said.
But he's not on their side.
Exactly.
He's a neutral, legalistic voice.
Yes, that's my position. What does the law say? If the law says this, have we followed the letters of the law? Then, should the law take precedence over personal whims and caprices, or political inclination, or religious inclinations? Or the religious inclination should take precedence over, democratic ideas?
We don't have a theocracy here.
At all.
So
you understand?
Religious...
It's out of it. It's out of it. You are manipulating the populace. You are manipulating the citizens and the entire House of Assembly, probably, because the House of Assembly of states now in Nigeria, they more or less, they are more or less always with the governor. So whatever the governor says, is it. So you have he who pays the piper dictates the tune. You know, people have fought for independence of the legislatures, but it has never worked, because the governor also do not want independence for the legislatures just as much as they don't want it for the local governments, because they see them as willing tools. If that independence is achieved, they won't be able to use them for whatever reason.
Okay. Thing is being done. And I was just quoting a Jalingo-based lawyer, and our in-studio lawyer has said the same thing. Sympathy should not delay lawful action. And it's not about removing the deputy governor out of malice. It's about ensuring governance continues within the law. And also to apologize to those who called in earlier, but we couldn't pick. We are about to pick any call that comes in now. So please don't get tired of calling in. We can now hear the calls as they arrive. So we have this situation, and I think this lawyer and your very good self have said it so excellent. Oh, Mazi Okoroafo is on the line. Good morning, Mazi. Mazi, are you still on the line?
Where the deputy governor of Taraba is?
Okay, Mazi, I can hear you.
Deputy governor of Taraba is where the man is?
Where is he? He is at home. He is back in the country. I'm answering your question. I'm answering. If you can hear me, according to news reports, I'm trying to answer you if you can hear me. He was initially taken to Egypt. Oh dear. I think, sorry, can you just disconnect that call? Mazi is not, we're not on the same wavelength. He's saying something else. I think he's speaking to someone else. So, Mazi, when you can get through to us. But by the way, he was asking where is the deputy governor?
Well, he has been returned home.
He has been returned home. He, first of all, this whole journey started from the hospital, the National Hospital in Abuja. After that, I think, yes, he was out of the country, Egypt, and I think it was while he was in Egypt that the Commissioner for Health visited him.
What normally happened, what happened here is not dissimilar to what happened in Yaradua's case.
Okay.
When the call for his coming for resumption, it became intensified and reached the peak, they hurriedly brought him back. In fact, getting to Nigeria, so that nobody could have a glimpse of the president, then they switch off all the lights in the airport just to smuggle him out of this. Nobody saw him. Yes, everywhere is there. It's everywhere.
I recall.
The record is there. Now, the same thing here, when the call became intensified and the commissioner of health for health has visited and he could not give any satisfactory account of his good health or sound health, they had to rush orderly bring him back home. Instead of him to allow him to concentrate on the treatment which he has not finished, they brought him back home so that we can say, oh, he's not out of the country, he's around. So you cannot remove him. That is exactly the politics that are played out in Taraba. Exactly similar to what happened to Yaradua, in the case of Yaradua.
But if he's in office but can't really be in office,
look at what happened. Yeah, I think it's maybe, well, they are lucky, so to say. Look at what happened to their former governor also. He became a human vegetable, so to say, almost a human vegetable, and due to the ill-fated aircraft crash. Yet, they did not transmit power to his deputy. He continued in office when he was completely incapacitated. So, this is the problem. In Taraba, that is, what's the name of this governor? The fair man. Do you understand? So, but they didn't change him also until the last minute.
They refused to.
They refused to. So we should understand something in Nigeria. There is no sentiment in governance. And law does not recognize tribalism, religion, or governance, or morality.
You are saying that from your position as a lawyer, and you're concentrating on the law. Yes. But we do things a bit differently in Nigeria. I recall a totally unrelated case. When Ekweremadu was in the midst of his problems in the UK, our own former president, Olusegun Obasanjo, wrote to the court, seeking to say, wait, you guys, I can vouch for this guy, whatever the words were. So in short, what I'm saying is that I expect this missive of mine to affect, long and short of it, he might not have used those words, but you don't need to throw the book at him.
Exactly. You understand?
And now, why would somebody think that such a missive will actually influence or affect a court in the UK?
Exactly, because we overrate ourselves, because we thought or we forgot or choose to realize. You understand? Is that we fail to realize or choose to forget that the way we run our democracy is not the way it is done over there. Remember,
and that hurts when you say these kind of things. It hurts.
No,
the way we run our democracy.
No, it's true.
Because we profess to be Democrats along with the whole world.
Uncle Yori, we are, as far as I am concerned, we are not yet in democracy. We're in civil rule. Because all the things, where is it possible that a president will just travel anyhow, a governor will just travel anyhow, a local government chairman will travel anyhow, a deputy governor of a state will not function for 8 months and you are not doing anything? It is not done anywhere. And instead of you to address it, you are talking about religion, about Bible and the Quran, which has no place, because we are not being governed by Bible. By the Bible. We are not being governed by the Quran.
Not being a theocratic state.
We're not a theocratic state.
There are states where those holy books will be the law.
Yes, exactly. No. Now, we have a constitution. Do we have a provision for this situation?
No,
the answer is yes.
We're a secular state.
Exactly.
Okay, so, one moment, sir. Let me bring in James. He's calling from Borno. Good morning, James, in Borno.
Morning.
Thank you for calling in. Go ahead right now, please.
Yes, can you connect me to this morning?
Yeah. You're speaking with us right now. I'm saying good morning to you. Thank you for calling in.
Yes, thank you very much. I would like to ask a question. But presently, right?
There's so much noise around you. Is the noise around you or is it somewhere else?
Okay.
All the noise around you.
Yes, I would like to ask a question.
Go ahead. We have a lawyer to help us answer. James, I don't know what was happening there. So sorry about that, but there was so much. Yes, there was so much noise. Is there another call coming in? Because I understand that people have been trying to reach us. Even our friend, quite a number of people have tried to reach us when we couldn't actually hear that they were even trying to reach us, but it's another matter. That's been sorted out now. We just lost James from Borno, but I was talking about the attitude, the way we see our democracy.
Yeah, we still see our democracies as something we can toy with. We see our democracy in terms of our will.
That can be tweaked.
That can be twisted to favor us the way we think. We still see it as something like, this is my feeling.
But it's just human feeling.
It's not. Yeah, this is my human feeling, or this is what my constituency wants, but this is what the law says. We can do it this way also. Do you understand? Yes. That is why you will see somebody who has decamped from a political party to another party, you know, and they will say, oh, it's remained there. You have been voted, and when the Constitution says no, that is a betrayal of the electorate who voted for you on party A, and you now say, okay, completely you move. Not when you don't move completely like we have in Rivers, but when you move completely now and now say, I belong here, and the conditionality set down or laid down by the Constitution has not been met. You just feel that nothing will happen. So far, I'm joining the ruling party. So it happened under PDP, it happened under other political parties. We cannot operate like that.
Mr. Joshua, thank you for calling in again in Irewolide. Good morning to you, sir.
Happy weekend. And
hello.
My greetings to your guests.
Okay, thank you. We can hear you now.
The point I'm trying to make is about the practice of governance in Nigeria. Is it forbidden for our political leaders, you know, to resign their appointment? Is it something like they view there's no life outside office? I know that political office has been monetized, and it seems more like not just a career, but a lifetime thing. That now, when somebody is critically ill, when a politician is sick, I mean, he knows he's sick and is incapacitated. What stops them from resigning? That we have to go through all these circles of balancing, the governor working, the deputy is not there, or the president is so sick. I think we should stick to the matter very straight so that we stop all these complications about political leadership. These people are paid for, or their services are paid for. And when their services are not rendered, they are being paid. And, I mean, the governance will suffer. At the end of the day, the people don't get the benefit of who they are voted for.
Yeah.
So I think this issue should be addressed directly to the fact that these individuals should be encouraged to resign when they are no longer capable of holding public office.
Okay.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much for calling in. Well, that's a perspective, you know, but that goes against the whole sentiment of Governor Kefas.
Yes.
Because he's saying let us just be patient.
He's not even interested in what the law says. He's only interested in the interest of his political ally.
Yes.
That I must I must support this man to the last minute. And not supporting him is inhuman. So he's playing the morality card, which is not good for us. It's like manipulating the people. Because you cannot, when you have said that, who will now come out to say, oh, remove the governor? So he has already keyed the House of Assembly to a kind of, he has boxed them to a tight corner where escape seems to be impossible. So then the electorate too, once the House of Assembly members, the elected are not talking, they cannot do anything. This is just it. And the law has not given the power to the electorate to recall.
Okay. Well, okay, just before we continue, our boys in the newsroom, well, for that matter, they're also girls, since I use the boys, let me follow with girls. They put together a report on Governor Kefas. Let's watch that, since we're talking about him now.
Religious leaders and journalists were among those who attended the gathering called by Governor Kefas. The aim of the meeting is to clarify issues surrounding the deputy governor's health conditions and prolonged absence from office due to medical reasons. Governor Kefas explains that his decision to retain his deputy is based on both moral principles and constitutional provisions, stressing that calls for his removal are unwarranted.
Even in politics, our deputy governor, His Excellency, fell ill serving Taraba State faithfully on official duty. This is not political matter. It is a human one. The Constitution gives us laws to follow, and we have done everything required of us under the law. But laws alone are not enough. Morality and conscience must also guide our decisions. Whether you are a Christian, Muslim, or of another faith, one truth binds us all, that God calls us to care for one another.
The governor also reaffirms his commitment to the state's development and attracting investors to Taraba. The Attorney General of the state explains the legal position on the removal of a deputy governor.
Confirm that he is incapacitated and cannot carry the functions of his office. That is the first step. Once you do that, you can now come to the State Executive Council for the setting up of a medical panel. These are procedures that have not been followed. If you want to remove a deputy governor, you must follow the provisions of the Constitution. There's no sentiment, there's no emotions, there's no politics. It is about Taraba State, it is about our future, it is about the Constitution we're talking about.
Other speakers at the event shared their views.
Is the good people keep to the law. The best people do better than the provisions of the law. If the law says you do not kill, you make sure you save life. So this is a deputy governor that is a colleague to the governor. It's not just an office.
With this submission, it is clear that Governor Kefas has no plans to replace the ailing deputy governor, and that position has been reinforced by the recent redeployment of the deputy chief of staff to the governor.
As that exalted person said, I don't know whether he's an enemy or not, you know, he said this is not just a deputy governor, he's a colleague of the governor. So that begins to explain the loyalty. Who did you say is on the line? Okay, retired AIG Durosimi, good morning to you, sir.
I'm here on the air. I'm still on.
Well, I just said good morning to you, sir. Please go ahead.
Good morning, Uncle Dori. I think the issue involved now is more of constitutional. I continue to say that the Constitution has stated the procedure to follow. But the medical team, there must be a medical panel that's supposed to confirm whether this guy can actually perform, even when he's healed, when he's become healthy. Will he be able to carry out the duties? That is very, very important. And I am sure if it's the governor that was involved in this, there will be more noise about it. And it shows further that between the governor and the deputy governor, they have a party. They are very close to each other. If it was the other way, it could have been a different situation. Even any small sickness, he would have been able to urge the state assembly to do the needful. But the thing is that every Nigerian man knows that sickness can come to anyone and it can go at any time. So we imported the position of the Constitution from America. But our culture is very, very important, which now think about the moral aspect. But no matter what happens, the Constitution must be obeyed until amendment is made. That is my contribution.
Well, thank you very much, retired AIG Durosimi. Appreciate your call. Yeah, everybody.
You said it very fantastically. And when you look at, if you look at the governor, the speech was intra-contradictory, self-contradictory. He said that there are procedures under the Constitution. Yeah. Now they have done all things possible by the law, and that you know this the procedure in the Constitution. So you are saying you have followed the law, then you say you have not gone against the law. That's what he is saying. But the AG also came out to say, oh, there are procedures set.
The Attorney General.
You understand? He stated the law correctly, but he has not answered the question whether they are ready to follow it.
Because he doesn't want to go against the governor.
Yeah, he also saw
the governor has declared that
the medical panel,
nothing is going to touch my deputy.
Yeah. So who sets up the medical panel if not the House of Assembly? The Attorney General mentioned it, that there must be a medical panel, and that has not been done. Who will bear the cat? This is where the problem is. It's a kind of funny imbroglio, but people are not ready to shift ground. And the governor also said it's more of a morality than religion, and religion more than law. He knows, because he knows that they have not followed the law. That if they follow the law, everything is wrong. Do you understand? So that was why he was saying it's more of morality, it's more of religious, being religious and humane than being legalistic. So what he is telling you, please put away this constitution.
Yes.
We're not ready to follow it.
Yes.
What we are saying here now is what we feel is good for our people, not minding what the constitution has said. That is exactly what everybody seems to be saying there. And the traditional leader that has spoken there said he's not only a politician, he's not just a deputy governor, he's a colleague.
He's a colleague. Which means
esprit de corps.
Esprit de corps. Because that's why the governor brought esprit de corps into it. But esprit de corps is unknown to law.
It's unknown to law. It's unknown to law. Morality and law have no, relationship, because the morality is not recognized. And when morality and law clashes, law must prevail.
Yeah, but so what is left is the humanness.
It's the humanness that they are applying.
Yes.
But the question we are asking, and what we know to be clear very well now, is that the House of Assembly, there is dereliction of duty from the side on the side of the House of Assembly, because they are not ready to perform their function. They set up the panel to look at it. It's a resolution passed by 2/3 majority of the House.
Yes.
They are not ready.
They're not ready.
And they are saying, the AG, the Attorney General is also saying that if he cannot perform the function of his office, somebody who has not come to work for 8 months, can he perform the function of the office? It goes without saying. It is it's crystal clear, as clear as snow.
It's crystal clear, but it's also an unfortunate situation, simply because human frailty is involved.
Take precedence over our law.
But that is the problem right there.
That's the problem that we have here.
That is the problem right there.
Because we allow sentiment, emotion, morality, religious inclination to override the clear provision and unambiguous provision of the Constitution, which is the ground norm and the concept origo of Nigeria. Because
Barrister Akimbolu,
yes,
let's leave it there. You couldn't have been clearer. Thank you very much.
It's a pleasure.
You couldn't have been clearer. It will help us understand what's going on, and I guess we'll have to wait and see how it all pans out. Okay, we're going to have to leave it here, but do please join us on Monday for a fresh edition. I am Yori Folarin. Bye-bye for now.